Gary and John. Everybody.
Oh, yes.
I have to.
So, do we wait Gary and John? Hello? Yeah.
Yep. It'll be.
So, are we happy with the resolution for on page 107? Review of Maori contribution to council decision-making policy. Did you want to raise any issues, Stephen?
Really just that the policy was due for review. We've reviewed it and don't recommend that there's any changes. It's still fit for purpose, meets the legislative requirements, and because there's been no significant changes in the treaty settlement space, it still seems entirely appropriate. So that's the speedy backstory.
Thank you.
And I've got Joe Munro Cook on. Oh, right here. And she can answer detailed questions if you've got any.
Are there any questions for Joe or Stephen in regard to the recommendation? Yes, Martin.
So, just referring to our previous submitters, it seems to me that with the information that they've given as far as not having access, it just seems a little bit odd that we're saying that our policy on Maori contribution is fit for purpose and working all right. I would submit strongly that it doesn't seem to be. And the out at Marae, I kind of got the feeling from that the idea was that we should be engaging while waiting for the settlement to be signed. And this sort of seems to be saying, well, let's wait for the settlement to be signed before we make any changes to the policy. And I don't think we should be, I think we should be taking this policy out for discussion and saying, how is it working so far? And actually having some input into this policy rather than just saying, oh, we think it's okay. So that's my thoughts on it. So I would submit that that actually does need a review.
Yep, so Joe can respond to that.
The policy itself is fit for purpose. It's the inconsistency in its application that is the issue, and that is one of the things that we're hoping to address as we establish a proper engagement framework across the council. For things that are publicly excluded, that's a whole different matter, and there's a reason why things are done in publicly excluded forums. And I wouldn't expect that any of our policies would take precedence over a matter that's in a publicly excluded forum. So I stand by the recommendation that the policy is fit for purpose. Yes, there is an inconsistency in how it's being applied. We are engaging with iwi now. We're engaging with iwi on the spatial planning, the aquatic centre. We're in contact a lot more than what we have been. The policy itself is just that, it's a policy, it's a guideline, and it will sit within a framework and with a raft of policies that will increase our effectiveness and how we do engage with iwi moving forward. So we're not waiting for settlement, it's just the fact the environment hasn't changed. There may be something that comes out of settlement that we will have to incorporate into the policy, but until that settlement actually happens, the policy is fit for purpose. It's more of an education application thing within councils and how we apply it.
So,
I'd be inclined to agree with that, Joanne. So Martin, Martin has had another one.
yeah, so there's five points, page 114, 115. So are we happy that those steps have been undertaken, and have we got any sort of measurement on the consultation?
We are putting in places now measures to record our consultation. So we now have an iwi engagement intranet page where there's an iwi communications register, and we're asking staff to basically update that every time they have contact with iwi and what they're talking to iwi about. There's also going to be another register made for inquiries that just come off the cuff, whether they go directly to our principal advisor or they come to Sandra or Rob, myself, or anyone else. So we have things in place where we're now able to record contact, and I know for certain with the shoreline management plans, the aquatic centre, the spatial planning, we are consulting with iwi. We've consulted early and we are building those relationships. So, for example, with Ngāti Maru, we've agreed to draw a line in the sand so past issues don't cloud discussion over the aquatic centre or the spatial planning, and that seems to be working really well. So we are doing what we can, and we will continuously ask for feedback. It's just a matter of getting the framework established first and improved, and it's just been done in little bite-sized chunks at the moment.
So can I add to that I did ask when they first noticed, it was in September of last year, and that if they had any queries or concerns, why they didn't just pick up the phone and give me a call, and we could have had a meeting and worked through it at that point, but they were too busy. And then, you know, it raises the issue around the rahui at Te Mata. And so, again, it was something that they didn't bring to our attention, but it was brought to our attention by the ministry, and we did support it. But it would have been nice if they'd actually consulted with us at the same time that they consulted with the ministry. So it's not always a one-way street, it's a two-way street, and I'm just applaud staff because we are improving. We've got a wee ways to go, absolutely, no question about that. And I understand Martin's concern. Kerry, you have a question?
Yeah, Joanne, just around this consultation, my understanding was a while ago that Maori were pretty locked into the settlement plans and busy and weren't really ready for that engagement. Has things changed since that?
What we found is by reaching out on specific projects like the shoreline management plans, the aquatic centre, we're managing to get time with iwi, and we're just taking that. So we're enabling and supporting. So in the space and council, you have the principal advisor and my role that are specifically charged with developing a framework, building capacity, capability. And I'm proud to say that, you know, we've now have other members such as Michael Jones who are going to iwi to talk about spatial planning. Amon Martin's doing the shoreline management plans. So we've just, the bite-sized chunk approach seems to be working, and iwi are responding to that. And we are just ensuring that we're being consistent in what we're doing. So while I would like to say that it would be great for it to be organisation-wide and everyone being involved in it, I'm actually really pleased with where we are at and where we seem to be heading, because staff and the elected members and the leadership team are really getting behind the progress we're making.
Any other questions? There being none, do I have a mover? Move Tony, seconder. John, all those in favour, please say aye. Against? Carried.
So that was just Jo keeping her bugs at home as well. That's why she was on Teams today. And I think Leslie, who's the next speaker, is also keeping her bugs at home.
So we're now to the draft open spaces and community facilities strategy. And there's a couple of changes to that. So, hello.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
So, do you have anything you wanted to add to this one, Leslie? Yes.
No, not through the chair. No, I don't have much to add to the report. Just a few small changes that came through as a result of feedback from the community board and from councillors after the last time I brought it to you. So I think now we'll put it out for public consultation.
Rightio, that was to do with Karanui Trail and the Whangmatā boardwalk.
Yeah.
So, are there any questions of Leslie?
Yes, very quickly, Leslie. Yeah, I can see that you've taken on those comments from the community boards coming around. You picked them up from Karanui, Karanui and Whangmatā. Were the other ones in the other areas that we were unaware of that came through?
Actually, I didn't get a whole lot of comments from some of the community boards, except that, you know, that they thought that the strategy was kind of fit for purpose and it sort of met their expectations. But yeah, so wherever I got comments, I've recorded them.
All right, thank you.
Okay, do I have a mover? Terry, seconder?
Yep.
Yep, John. Any further comment? There being none, all those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried.
Thank
So
you.
move on to the District Council Sport and Active Recreation Plan.
I can see Matthew's eyes. Yeah.
Poor Leslie, she's
Yeah, it's just Pluto, isn't it?
yeah, it's just cold or something. Yeah.
Okay, so page 154. Who's leading?
Thank you.
Who can't see himself? Hi, Matthew and Bill, we're on to your one. So we received from the doc, so is anyone speaking to this one? No one? To take it as read, are there any questions from anybody?
Yeah, I just want to make a note here through the chair, if I can, Your Worship, about the fact that these projects are in there and we're adopting this. It's not black and white or stuck in concrete. These are just projects that we're just.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else did you want to make any comment? No, you're right.
Yeah, I'm speaking.
Okay, so do I have a mover?
I'm very good, I'll second it.
Moved Murray, seconded Tony. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Thank you, Derek. That was excellent work.
Is that cool? Everybody second.
I just commend Matthew and Bill for the excellent presentation, which took us to the deal. So well done. Thank you very much, Derek.
Stay there though, because you had other reports, please.
We now have the next item on the agenda is the Mercury Bay Commercial Operators Licenses New Applications, page 156.
I'll move it. I'll second.
Luke, Tony, seconded. Murray, is there any discussion on these? There being none? No questions? Okay. Just give it a moment.
Oh, damn.
Oh, hello. Somebody online there?
Yeah, just a question to the councillors.
Yes.
There's quite a few that you've not approved. You happy with your discussions and where you're going with it?
Well, we wouldn't have moved if we weren't. Could have had a question.
Oh, well, sorry. There's quite a lot to
I
go.
think we'll discuss the community board and we're happy, yeah.
You don't feel you're going to get people coming back and wanting more?
Well, you always don't do
The
that.
boundary is what.
You'll look at them as they apply.
That's fine.
So our position is, till the reserve management plans are redone, and we know categorically what reserves can take activities and what can't, and which ones can take more, and then have a think about what goes on it, and having a better tenure, so rather than having someone with a business for 1 year at $350 a year, maybe they should be paying $3,500 a year, but have a 10-year one, so they've actually got a right and something they can pass on. But for us, there are just so many things, notwithstanding the wharf in those areas, where we've got them queued up wanting to get there, simply it's not the space or the opportunity. So this is to say, first job, reserve management plans, and then once we know what they are and what we can put on every reserve, then we will go and revisit this. Because from my own point of view, there are some places I'd like to see 20 coffee carts and places selling wine and food, and not 1 or 2. There are others that have activities on it that I'd like to see seriously reduced because they're environmental impacts. So
you're
for us to take the cart from the horse at the moment, we've got the horse in front, that's the reserve management plans. Once we get hold of that, then we'll go back and revisit who can go on what. But in the interim, not letting any more because they are simply, some of these are land banking, there's a lot of other reasons for us.
I just saw that the reserve management plan's coming up today, isn't it?
Yes.
So
Yep.
I wondered if that was the right time to relook at
Can
it.
I
No.
Terry, we're happy with what we've done. We're not happy with the charging regime of concessions. Far from happy. So we want the whole thing visited, so we get a comprehensive attitude towards concessions over the whole thing. I'll give you an example. We've got a coffee cart just down the road from me that I think they pay $520 a year, 2 cups of coffee a week. They're paying $180 a square metre down the road. We should be giving them probably $3,500 a year bill to go there. We should also give them, if you like, a lease, for want of a better word, a right, and then they've got a property right, they can sell, but we get probably 10 times more money.
And give them a longer
And
period.
we've got to be smarter, we're absolutely dumb.
To be more commercial.
And that's why we've only put it for 12 months.
I totally support the board's point of view. And that's why they've done so well in terms of being able to put back into their boat ramps. They bit the bullet about charging. And honestly, the performance when you started charging at your boat ramp, huge. Now though, because of what you can put back in, it's made a huge difference. So, okay, then I shall put the resolution. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. So we now have the classification of Mercury Bay reserves, page 158. We have Derek still with us to answer any questions around that. Do I have a mover?
I'll move.
Tony, do I have a seconder? Murray, and now any discussion around these?
Yeah, the question.
Terry?
Yeah, there's a lot of reserves here, a lot.
Give us the full list.
So through the classification, did you look at each one and their purpose and what they did? It's quite a big job, this one, isn't it?
Well, it's a staff piece of work, primarily to go back and identify where these reserves are, and to be sure that we've classified them for what they are. So it's a tidying up exercise, and it's nothing that can't be changed at a later date. So this is really homework to tidy up something that's been lying around for quite a long time, that Derek and his team have done the work. It's been back through us as a community board, and basically accepted this recommendation because none of us are in the game to know of the 3 primary classifications for reserves, what are and what aren't, because we don't have access to the titles or the other information. So, given we've discussed it and are there, and we know that at a later date, once the reserve management plan process is underway, if something came up that needed to be changed, it can be changed. And so we're not locked into this for the rest of our lives, as I understand it.
Yeah, that's perfectly well spoken.
Everybody happy with that? I mean, for what Tony is saying applies to all of our reserves, so that there might be a difference of classification required, We can always change that.
Yep.
Okay, then I shall put the resolution.
Just one more quick thing. Is there any co-governance reserves in there?
Not on this list.
I didn't see.
Until the treaty settlement's signed, which is the reason why.
But were they targeted, they would have told us in advance, though, wouldn't they?
Helen?
Would they have told us in advance? Like we know other areas that reserve that are going to go co-governance up the East Coast.
We've got a number of reserve areas that are going to be under co-governance, but they're not there yet, so we're going with this at the moment. When the treaty is signed, that's when we're absolutely going to have to make some changes, but I'm suggesting there's probably going to be quite substantial changes right across the board, because every one of the community boards are affected by the treaty settlement changes in regard to their reserves in some way or another.
Everyone.
Every community board, not every reserve.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that would be a fair comment, wouldn't it, Gary?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Are you aware of those now, then?
Yeah, we've got a fair idea as to where they are.
Okay, so I'll put the resolution, all those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. So now we have the executive report.
Thank you, Your Worship. We'll take the report as read, but just wanted to highlight the headline is that we're still tracking, although there's some ups and downs in different areas, we're still tracking in line with the post-COVID budget revision that we approved in the late April council meeting. From an annual plan perspective, at least we're looking at year end to be similar to what we projected for the annual plan moving forward. So we've got the team in the room to answer questions.
Anyone have any questions?
Well, I probably put it forward, you've seen what I put forward, and I've just actually had some more suggestions that have come through, because I found myself a little frustrated in understanding, and I don't think anyone out there, if we stop 100 people in the street, 99 out of 100 will not really understand it. And we need to understand it, otherwise it's our arse that's kicked.
Did you raise some questions through it, Gary? So directly to, yeah.
What I'd say is
over the numbers or over the presentation?
Did you not see my email, Terry?
How it was reported to us. So Gary sent an email.
Yeah. Sorry,
and it's in line with at the last council meeting, I don't know if you recall, but Donna said she was going to have a workshop at the last council meeting around how we want the reporting to be done. We'll all have different ways of assimilating the information, and there'll be different ways that it's going to be easier to assimilate than others. So Gary's put forward some really good suggestions. We really appreciate your free advice of this chartered accountant.
Yeah. And I've got some others I can just come forward, so I'll send those on.
No big deal.
I've done them a favour.
Free advice is always good. You haven't got a lawyer that wants to do pro bono.
I need one of them.
No, I'm kidding. Terry.
Yeah, so just to Rob, following the presentation this morning about our reporting, is there anything in there that we should be aware of? Just asking the question.
No,
I'm
perfectly comfortable that we're tracking in line with the more detailed budget revision that we put through a couple of council meetings ago. So we're in line with those intentions.
Thank you.
No questions of Rob? There being none, can I have a mover? Move John, seconder. Kerry, all those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Right, we now, members' reports. Okay, Murray. Tony.
Just a couple of things. So on regional transport committee, coming up, I haven't had this discussion with Sandra or anyone yet, but I'm going to put a template together by ward, local roads, NZTA roads, with the changes that you want, because I'm aware as you go around the district, most communities have got things they'd like to alter, whether it be slower speeds, whether it be pedestrian crossings, whether it be roundabouts, whether it be whatever, so that you identify by community board those things that you want done, and I'll think about having a location, whether it be a a GPS coordinate, whatever it is, and a name, I don't know, to get around to that. And what the issue is, and then for the roads, then Michael, we can do what we like, almost, on our roads. For the NZTA ones, and I've got something to take to that meeting in conjunction with other councils, to put in front of them to say, here goes our list, and we'll try and prioritise those. So that work will come out, but I think it's going to be done by community board, come to council to collate it and put it in some format to give to me to take to my meeting.
When's this going?
Anytime.
Well, I'm going to try and get what I get. What I'd say is that see your respective committee board administrators to get it on the order paper, so you've got a reason to have it there, to produce your list, to collate and send it to council. The council will put together and then give it to me to take away and get into there and talk to it. So that's.
So, for example, we've got Kildanura Bay, where we want to, the Thames Community Board wants to reduce the speed limit down to 50k, I think it is. When you do that, I'm not sure if there's consequential reduced input of funds from NZTA for the road.
Pretty can be, because around the classification. They have one metric road classification, so there's some different things feed into how that road gets classified. There are different categories of roads, and so each different categories of roads get different amounts of investment.
Yeah, and I can just speak to that. Whangatara's had an application in for 18 months for road speeds to reduce one and increase the other. And the other one I want to raise too with Tony Hinkawai. It floods every time we have a flood. I bet you it floods on Thursday this week.
Yeah.
And it goes, and State Highway will not look at doing something. It's just crazy. And it just stops that whole circle of transport around Coromandel madness.
Don't disagree, but that's our problem.
No, the NZTA.
If you're talking about NZTA,
that's their problem, but these other ones.
Our issues don't actually hardly reach them, because if you talk about road safety or wanting something done, we haven't got any cars drive down the southern motorway. There's more go down there in a day than come over here in a year. So these things aren't easy to fix and to prioritise, because it is a bit of a squeaky wheel issue. But anyhow, I'm going to ask for information, and I'm going to do my best to get that on the table,
right,
and hopefully get the support of a couple of other mayors to help me through this. And see, we're not going to get them all, but we can just knock one or two off here and there. It'll be slowly catch the monkey, so that's coming. Now, on the issue of water, so, and Woodiana, so I'm only going to talk about Woodiana. There's a lot of misinformation out there.
Bearing in mind we have 9 supplies, and they're all got varying interest, and they're all affected by the drought, and they coat.
But believe me, nobody connected to the Woodiana water supply went out and bought water to flush their toilet, as reported. Never happened. Nobody ran out of water. There was no crisis. We did provide water, as one ex-committee board member reminded us, under the local government Act 2002, provide potable water. We have done that. And there's conflicting information even with the community, with someone saying, oh, it's at a very low level, it just about broke, the intake just about broke the surface, where someone else is saying, here goes all my photographs and you've got tons of water. So it is not a unified noise that you hear coming out of Woodiana, and we are dealing with it. All I ask for is this high-level information. Don't worry about where it is. A hypothetical case to store 1 day's worth of water for X number of people costs this much. Because I've done some work on it, and if you apply it to 9 water treatment plants, the bill is $2.3 billion over 50 years, $6,800 a ratepayer. That is the story that should be out there. You can have anything you like if you're prepared to pay for it. Now, my numbers could be wildly wrong, and let's say I'm 50% overstated. But the number to address this, if you provide infrastructure, is enormous. Be mindful, I think water will be controlled by central government, will be taken out of our hands. Closely followed by roads, closely followed by solid waste, and we'll be left with rats and mice And one day it'll be like health boards, and they won't even bother elected people. Because a lot of the stuff's actually beyond something, just gets voted out of something into council. It turns up on day one, expect to understand all the stuff, but they don't. So I only ask again, some high-level numbers that we can put back to say, this is the cost of doing business, you want this solution. And I don't mind if it's plus or minus 50%, but something. And for Whittier, I would just like, for the cost of doing it, I'd say, I don't do this overseas myself, I'll bore holes and get water for people. Is any one of our bores available as an alternative supply, being mindful you'll have a different treatment plant on the end of it? So we don't treat water for heavy metals.
Oh yeah, we're going to,
So, yeah,
I'm going to truncate this.
So now that's for me,
But look, the reason for deferring this to the LTP is because we have 9 supplies and it was actually stated by one of the speakers that it is about prioritise. We have to know what the needs are for each of those supplies to be able to assess where the key first priority or need is against the others and rank them. Because we don't have enough money to be able to upgrade or enhance them all. So we're going to have to rank them in regard to need. And yeah, so and you're all aware of your own supplies. Do you know the most connections are actually in Wangmata?
There's 300 that are not connected and paying water there, so that's pretty good.
4,000.
300 people not connected but paying their water rates every year.
They pay it.
And they're availability charge.
They're paying the water
Because they're in a reticulated area.
Anyway, I've got a point to make to Tony, and I agree with Tony what he's trying to say there. But also, the regional council is the biggest player in this game. They can't walk away from this. They control the water from the mountain to the sea. They control the consents. They will push this whatever way they want to. You hear Auckland, there are 106 on the list of consents for an emergency water system in Auckland.
107.
Yeah, so where the hell is this going to fall from? But without them, this ain't going to go anywhere. So they need to be on board. Agree?
Yeah, no, look, it is a significant problem, and it's one that we're going to grapple with when we come to talking about the LTP, and what sort of backups there are for all of our systems, because as you all know, Tyra probably particularly is the one that every year knows it's facing needing to conserve and be careful of its water over a 2 to 3 week period. And so, and the turbidity is an issue, but we're going to move on. Martin, members report.
Yep, so just to carry on from the water issue, I guess my main concern is, and a couple of the submitters said they didn't like the idea that nothing was going to be happening over the next 12 months on the water. Presumably that's not correct.
That's not correct.
Staff and Bruce's team are actually doing work on that all the time anyway. Right, okay, that's cool. Yes, so I've been to a number of webinars that Equip and LGNZ have been doing. There's a particularly interesting one on Towards Zero, which is the idea of having 0 deaths or injuries on the road. There was some very interesting information in there. Also, of course, with the other councillors came along to the Sugarloaf celebration, and it was, and Sally commented on it as well. She said she thought it was a fantastic gathering of a whole lot of stakeholders, and it was, yeah, the people that were here, we all thought it was quite a special occasion, and I know staff have been thanked over and over for it, but I'd just like to add thanks to the staff that did the work on that. Also went to the AGM of the Public Arts Trust. Since I've become a councillor, I can safely say that I can't join any committee, so it's always safe to go onto AGMs now. My wife's very happy about that. And the Thames Public Arts Trust have got a number of projects that, as they describe themselves, they've kind of got the bits of wood and the hunks of metal and steel and things that have been scattered in various yards around Thames, and are sort of working through with council staff around when they can put those up. So there's some quite exciting stuff happening in that space. And the other thing I'd draw people's attention to was the white paper that came out by the PGF. It's not the Provincial Growth Fund, it's the Problem Gambling Fund, around the unsustainability of the community sector being dependent on pokie funding. And I would urge people to have a read of that, because it's, a bit like Matthew was talking about with the sports teams being dependent on gambling and dependent on vulnerable people in poor communities. And a significant amount of the funding, the 40% funds from pokies, don't necessarily go to the community that they came from. I think Pororua only gets 9% of it, and the money goes off to other areas. I think that's a very interesting debate that possibly needs to be had. And that's me.
Thank you, Martin. Gary.
Yes, well, I came to the Sugarloaf opening, or whatever festival we call it. Might I say, it was nice to see my old mate Winston from last year in the footy days. But I have to say you spoke very well to me. I thought it went very well. Secondly, I was interested in Ben Dunbar's comment about pre-election report. I would have to say, if I'd been aware of that, I don't know if I would have stood. I think it would have had a big effect upon the election. So I really it made it click to me that the problem is you haven't got the right information. The third and last point is that one thing that I've struggled with is the green pages we have, the public excluded. Now, I've been brought up, I've had over 50 years in the legal profession, and I've been involved in disclosure from the police and government agencies and all that, the fights we've had. There's virtually nothing you don't get now. And I was embarrassed to see Mr. McCassie sitting here not having a bloody clue what was going on. And the other side had. We've got to open up. And democracy is about people knowing. And I just cannot see how many green pages we have. I really cannot see what there is really that should be excluded, other than someone says privilege this, that and other way. As you know, I took the council on the privilege aspect, not being councillors being advised, and in the end people had to accept. We had to have the information.
This is not a fight, Gary.
It's not a fight, but the point is you made it a fight.
Mr. Cassie was aware of this.
He said I haven't got paperwork. And
No, that was John McEntee.
Oh, well, sorry, no, John McEntee, sorry.
Two totally different
Well, I'm
issues.
sorry, I've got the wrong person.
Yeah.
Okay, but the end result, the principle is there. If you don't have open democracy, the public consultation, the public will know about it. And we don't have to be going saying, oh, we'll go and have consultation. If it's out there, they will know, and we will have the feedback. We must open up. And that's my last point.
Thank you. Robin.
Couple of things. So the two things that have really been on my radar this week is I've been having conversations with the Business Association in a different role to this role. And I've been very pleased with Thames Business Association's new direction and their new CEOs. And we had a fantastic Business Up 5, was it last week?
Gastronomics.
Couple last week down to gastronomics. And so it's been really nice. There seems to be quite a lot of energy there, which is lovely to see. And then to be honest, the other issue that has been assaulting me at the library, at the library and at the supermarket and the market, is I'm getting a lot of really strong feedback about the library. So I don't know whether you guys are getting emails as well, but I'm getting lots of emails and lots of people calling me. And so I know, I just wanted to table that as something to think about for the long-term plan. Because Thames Community Board is talking with staff, having a productive conversation with the staff about things that we can do. But I just wanted to let you guys know that this was an issue that went pop. And if you don't have a library, John doesn't have a library. You should have a library. That was so awesome. Anyway, just wanted well, it doesn't have a library. You do have a library. Okay, great. So I just wanted to sort of flag that as an issue that we need to talk about in the long-term plan and make sure that we are doing the right thing by everybody and all of the users. And I can forward you the emails if you want. I'm really happy to do that. Yeah?
Thank you, Rowan. There are some way on. John.
No, happy in my life.
Oh, set communications, I think you
Yeah,
do a great
well,
job.
I don't know all these guys, all the stuff that's going on, so.
Yeah. Jerry.
The speeds that Tony brought up, that was one of my points about the road speeds we've applied for quite a while. Following the TAR, we had a meeting with the local real estate agents, and they're getting a lot of inquiries from people now wanting to lifestyle change and come to town. So we've asked to set up a spatial plan with the working group. So we'd like council support in terms of some people who help around, like the Thames one had a little working group put together to help us put that together for the town and look at where it should go for the next 20 years. The information centre, we had a farewell for the volunteers yesterday, and they pull the pin at the end of the week, and the new people come in, and I think it's going to be a tough road for them. But good luck to them, we'll see what happens. We're looking for a bit of money around Island View with the freedom camping issue we've got down there. We like that money. You can smile, but there's 8 or 10 campers coming every week.
Look at us, money. We got none.
Where's it all going?
Did you not hear that we went through a budget round?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
We still have
That's still going. The other one is timely, accurate information is important, and I agree with what Gary's saying. We need that information strong, straight and true, so we can answer the questions when we get them. We had a meeting with the teams, with the Tyrrell Ratepayers Association, and they asked some pretty straightforward questions, and we've got some support from council over the answers, but they know what's going on out there, and we need to know everything as it goes happens as well. So, thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Okay, what do I have to report? Well, just taking up the meeting with Sugarloaf, yes, I mean, Winston and Gary are so close to see each other after so long apart that Winston didn't even take any notice of the 2 young women that were wanting a photograph with him. So that was what a great day though. It was really, really good. And one of the aspects that I think made it so special that Martin sort of referred to was Iwi was so involved with us, particularly David Tybury and Harry Mackay, and so it was great to see them there and so involved. Great day. Just one key thing that the mayors and I, Toby Adams, Ash Tanner and Jenny Shattuck and I and David Tybury have all put in a submission supporting the COVID-19 fast-track consenting bill. And the reason for that is that we see this as a great initiative by the current government and a real opportunity to see what might be able to be achieved by having a faster process for doing projects and development. So absolutely essential in this time with COVID-19. So we're all very, very supportive of it, and we put in a submission to that. We did it as mayors because we just didn't have the time to go back to our councils. That was only decided to do that on Friday. It was pulled together on the Saturday, signed off on the Sunday, and had to be lodged by 5 o'clock Sunday night. So I'd just like to thank Stephen for coming to the party on that one, which was really good. So I'll just thanks you. So
Another meeting with again.
Yeah, they got to do it on Sunday.
Can you send it just for our information?
Yeah, I'll do that. And so I don't think there's anything else apart from doing usual constituency stuff and the skate.
Oh yeah, skate ball.
Sorry, yeah, and that was great. Back to Murray.
If you wish, can I just bring something I forgot that was not written on my page?
Yeah.
Not on my page, but I've had about 3 phone calls from the Matasaki area of people wanting to subdivide land. Now, I don't know whether anything's gone out from council to be a capital, but these people are saying we want information on subdivisions. From a Thames point of view, whether it might be something that someone can liaise with some of the landowners or do something out there in a PR exercise to talk to them, because a lot of land out there could be subdivided that could help people in Thames.
Well,
I don't know what triggered it. But something has triggered something.
Could you get them to call me direct? We're working on a few things, but that's what the spatial plan's all about.
I can get them to call you direct if that's what you want.
Yes, if you could.
Okay, I'll do that, I'll do that.
And, but that's what the spatial plan is about. And absolutely essential. We've got no housing stock in Thames.
Yeah.
And we were just talking, and it's about, what is it, 30% of our staff live outside the district. That's a lot. And so, and the average age is what, 53 years. So we're desperate for housing in Thames. How, you know, I need to put signs up. But do you know what it's going to be like trying to get zoning changes? Even just to put the infrastructure out there. There's going to be some hard calls made about funding infrastructure to go out south, because we can't go north. We want to have land available for adaptation and moving off your lower ground. That's going to take some dollars to be able to fund the infrastructure. And I seriously don't know if this council is up for the task, to be quite frank. I hope they are, because I don't think we can get away from it, don't we?
But looking at the whole thing, is it an option to give up and think there are other options? So you could argue you could combine Hauraki and here with an office at Hauraki and one at Woody Ave, for that matter. But if you haven't got anywhere to go, you can keep.
Well, we can, and it's higher elevated ground.
Okay, well then, when it's attractive, someone will go and do it. But
and they're all wanting to do it now, and that's Murray's reinforced that.
the right, the chicks have to go and do it. I don't see the issue, but
yeah,
like I don't see it as being a difficult thing to do. Someone owns land.
It is more difficult than you think.
Do you think with the people doing remote working, that people will be a bit more transient or live from distance?
They want to. Hence the now looking at other places outside of Auckland. I think that
well, and working from distance, so they're not coming to Thames to live. They can work from home from another.
No, they want to work from home from Thames.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. People are making their choices. They're making choices.
Right, moving right along their face. Okay, thank you very much. I'll move the members' reports. Do I have a seconder? Yep. Robin, all those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. And now it's public excluded. So it's a few minutes so we can start the record. Oh, right, we just have to take a few moments.